Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are doing the second video in the series of the most asked piercing questions on the internet. In the last video for this series, we did questions based around what. So they were what questions, like what piercing can you get at this age? What piercing helps with migraines? But if you haven't seen it, please go and watch it. It's worth a watch. It is worth the giggle. Trust me, these questions kill me. My answers kill me even further. She's a funny gal, ha ha ha. Let's jump right in. Which piercing takes the longest to heal? Now this can really depend on the person, but one of the most longest to heal piercings for like the widest majority of people, and you will find most people have a long healing period with this piercing, is nipple piercings. They can take up to 2 years to heal, and in some cases some people find even longer. Most of the time, if they're not healing by 2 years, you probably will really struggle to heal them at all. I know it sucks, but yeah, if they're really not coming around by the 2-year mark, you need to look at some other options, whether it's like what kind of jewelry are you wearing in there? Looking at whether they have been pierced properly to begin with. Looking at the size of the jewelry. There's so many things that come into play here. However, these are a piercing that some people just, their bodies just don't want to heal. Their bodies don't want to accept it. It's a difficult piercing to heal. So honestly, don't be surprised if your nipple piercings are taking a very long time to heal. They by no means are a piercing that are going to be healed within the 8-week time frame. Like, that's not possible for a nipple piercing. For a nipple piercing, you're looking at like starting off at like 6 months for them to be healed plus. Definitely common for you to have them for a few years and them still be acting up on you. But yeah, like I said, after the 2-year mark, if things still aren't going well, then you really need to look into that. Get a piercer to check them to see if they have been pierced properly, what jewelry's in there, yada yada yada. I've definitely had people come and check to see what is going on, to see whether their piercing is healing, to see why it is taking so long. Sometimes it is because their piercing has been pierced too deep. They have been pierced through their areola instead of their nipple, and this can cause huge amounts of problems, and you're almost guaranteed to not have it healed if you are getting it pierced through your areola, because it should not be pierced through there. So that's something to definitely have a look at, slash get your piercer to have a look at, because your piercer will have a lot more insight into it than you can if you were to look at it and see like it looks pretty normal to you. The piercer might be able to see actually what's going on rather than like you looking at it from a non-piercer perspective. Which piercing heals the fastest? So this one can vary for many different reasons. Person to person, it is different. However, a lobe is always going to be a very easy piercing to heal. There's not a lot going on there. So a lobe is almost always going to be your #1 fastest healing piercing. However, septum piercings are also up there with the fastest healing piercings because it is such a thin area to pierce. Again, because there's not a lot going on there, your body can heal it a lot easier than other areas, like for instance, cartilage. Damn, she takes a long time. But then you will obviously notice I didn't put cartilage into the longest healing piercing, because a lot of the time if you have a cartilage piercing that is acting up over a long period of time, like for instance the 2-year mark, like a nipple piercing, if it's like a year/2 years into a cartilage piercing, like it's never going to heal. Whereas a year into a nipple piercing, you could definitely still, like, you're still going through it. Whereas it's not the same for a cartilage piercing. At a year, if your cartilage piercing hasn't healed, it probably hasn't been pierced correctly. You may not be wearing the right jewelry, the right length. There's so many things that come into that. So yeah, I would say lobes and septum for the fastest healing piercings. Oof. This one kills me. Which piercing is the gay ear? Genuinely hate how this is such a commonly asked question on the internet, but it is a very commonly asked question in a piercing shop as well. And it's often from like, I don't know, boys in high school, like, oh, which piercing like is the gay ear? Because I don't want that one. I want like the opposite of that. And it's just like, get whatever fucking ear you want. Why does it matter anyway? It literally shouldn't matter. If you get the so-called gay ear, so fucking what? Who cares? This doesn't exist. There is no such thing as the gay ear. And if you're even asking that question, we don't love that. Like, why do you even need to ask it? Unless you are gay and you are asking which ear is the gay ear because you want the world to know how much of a queen you are, then I don't want to know. But honestly, don't know what the gay ear is. Doesn't exist. It was like definitely a thing from like back in my like father's era, because I remember him telling me when I was like young, being like, oh well, yeah, boys who get this ear, it's like the gay ear. That's why I had to get this other ear because it wasn't the gay ear. Yeah. So realistically, if you want to know what the gay ear is, you will need to get in contact with my father to find that out, because we don't know, I don't know, they don't know, she don't know, he don't know, nobody know, because it's not a thing. Which piercing helps with anxiety? Well, wouldn't I love to know that? Wouldn't we all love to know that? Honestly, if there was a piercing that fucking cured that shit, I would be promoting that. I would be preaching to the damn world about that shit. If there was something that could just like wipe that anxiety out, I would be telling you, trust me, someone would be talking about it. We would all be telling the world. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist. Sorry. I'm sad about it too. Which piercing helps with headaches? Now, for anyone out there who actually gets migraines, you will know that headaches are very different to migraines. It's a whole different ball game. Migraines just take you to a whole nother world. They are not enjoyable. Not that headaches are enjoyable either, but I'm not here to explain what a migraine is. I'm here to explain which piercing helps headaches. So no piercings are there to help headaches. The daith piercing is known to help migraines. The daith piercing isn't guaranteed to help your migraines. However, there are a lot of cases in which it has helped people's migraines. So that is why people recommend this as a piercing to alleviate migraines. Some people it completely works for and gets rid of their migraines completely, whereas others it's like more of a alleviation thing where it like helps to reduce the intensity of the migraine, or some people it doesn't work at all. I've done a video all about it. I would suggest watching that to get into the real nitty-gritty of it. Which piercing should I get? I've definitely done a few videos about helping you pick your piercings, about piercings that have the least scarring, about piercings that are the most unique, about piercings that would suit you the best, work the best for your lifestyle. I've done many a video about those things. I'll try and put like few of them up here while I'm explaining this, because I think it's really good for you to know what sort of piercings work for your lifestyle. I'll give you a few little ideas though. So for instance, a navel piercing isn't great for people who do a lot of swimming, because when you're getting it pierced, you can't swim for a few months. And then also because it can be a piercing that can take quite a while to heal. So you want it to be completely healed before you're like getting it in chlorine and such. Not only that, you also don't want to get a navel piercing. If you carry a lot of heavy things and sort of like lean them up against yourself, you're gonna be like rubbing it. If you wear a lot of high-waisted pants, a cartilage piercing in your ear isn't great if you sleep on your side, or if you sleep on that side. If you sleep on the other side, go for the other side. Piercings that are great if you want to hide them are something like a navel piercing, a septum, a tongue piercing. Which piercing hurts the most? This question was actually in the last video. It probably was what piercing hurts the most. And I definitely said nipple for this one, and I stand by it. It's painful piercing. It's a hard one to say because everyone's pain threshold is different. Everyone feels pain differently in different parts of their body. It's different for everyone, but for the most part, nipple piercings do suck for most people. That's probably the most well-rounded, painful piercing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you would like to see another part to this series, please let me know in the comments below, and I will be back very soon. Bye!